Hello, everybody, and welcome to No Bull with Alan Dietz. Glad to be here with you for another week of short track racing that we look forward and we look back on this past weekend. Lots going on, of course, in the world of short track racing, as you know. We'll touch on a few things, a few news items, as well as recap what you saw here on Ultra Broadcasting. First off, Caraway Speedway. It's been sold. The Hackett family's had it since the 1970s. And Robert Tyler, former truck racer, I think he raced late models too. He's going to be taking ownership of it a little bit later this year. I think Brad Brinkley, former late model driver, he's involved and going to be part of the management team there. And they've got a lot of big plans and more things that they're going to be announcing in the coming weeks, but we look forward to that and thank the Hackett family for everything that they've done over the years here in the southeast to keep racing going up there in the Piedmont of North Carolina. That's Richard Petty country up there, up around Greensboro. So that's something that we'll be looking at. Also, more about this IHRA situation article. I don't know if it was an article. I think it was actually a TV report in Memphis in the last couple of days came out, and they talked to the IHRA owner, Daryl Cuttle, who nobody's really heard a whole lot from, but definitely not heard a lot from him, since this situation has gone down where we've seen the stock car season canceled, some of the drag racing seasons been canceled, and some of these racetracks that were purchased right now, their future is up in the air. And basically he says that he's owed hundreds of millions of dollars because he was hired by Elon Musk or Elon Musk company to work on some artificial intelligence data centers. And who knows what'll come of that. Hopefully that'll get itself sorted out, because I know a lot of people put their faith in what they were trying to do. And, he said he spent a lot of his own money, a ton of his own money. And it just, until this gets sorted out, the racing right now has to come second. But we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully it'll work out in everybody's favor involved. And I think the biggest thing for us circle track fans, besides the fate of the IHRA Stock Car Series, is Rockingham Speedway. It's a place that I and lots of people love, and hopefully IHRA purchased it. I know they're going to have the NHRA race here coming up soon at the drag strip, which is good. Personally, I don't think unless NASCAR or Speedway Motorsports buys it, or unless somebody like Track Enterprises and Bob Sargent that NASCAR has worked with and trust, if some of those people don't become involved in ownership or at least leasing the racetrack with some guarantees, forget about the NASCAR Cup Series. I think the entire future for Rockingham's up in the air, and that comes with the O'Reilly Series and the Truck Series. And, you're seeing dates starting to be announced. So, NASCAR is working on those schedules, and hopefully it'll get sorted out. If not for 2027, then maybe for 2028. Here on Ultra Broadcasting, we had an exciting weekend. Racing returned to Florence Motor Speedway. Bell and Bell not there, and race got partially completed. The limited late models, the Chargers, and the mini stocks, I think, got rained out, but the other divisions ran, and some great racing out there. Jackson Hicks took the Super Truck win. I think it's only his second Super Truck start. He's taking that Aaron's ride over for his dad, Brian. Goes out there and wins the race, does a great job. The other race we had here on Ultra was the Carbless 125 for the UARA National Super Late Models at Golden Sands Speedway up in Wisconsin. First broadcast for Ultra Broadcasting up in Wisconsin to join Michigan and Montana, among other states that Ultra's going to for the first time. And after qualifying on the pole, I think he started ninth after the redraw. Ty Majeski was able to work his way up through the field to get the win. I think it was his first time back at Golden Sands since 2017 or something like that. And neat racetrack. Really enjoyed watching it. That was the first time I got to see Golden Sands, and I think you'll be seeing more UARA racing up in Wisconsin coming up in 2027. The neighboring state, Michigan, already had a UARA race earlier this year at Berlin, and coming up next week, that's Wednesday night, August the 12th, the UARA National Super Late Models will be back in action at Berlin, going for $40,000 to win. I want to make sure I've got all my information right here. The Texton 250 Battle at Berlin. Again, that'll be Wednesday. UARA Super Late Models in action for $40,000 to win. But that's not going to be the only thing going on at Berlin. They're going to be really busy next weekend. You'll be able to see the Texton 250 here on Ultra Broadcasting. But then that weekend, Cletus McFarland and his gang comes in. Saturday, August the 14th, the Michigan 100 for Cletus McFarland's new Pro Late Model Series. It's his series, but the UARA officials and Ricky Brooks, they're going to be officiating that race first time. And I think that's going to be a huge race that's going to, between the Texton 250 and the big Pro Late Model race coming that weekend, I think that's got the potential to maybe bring in some more cars that'll try to do both races. And then on August 15th, Saturday night, the Cletus McFarland weekend continues with Burnout Rivals. So want to check that out. There's a lot of big things coming up at Berlin here over the next couple of weeks. Well, and our first guest, a driver that we saw at Golden Sands and we'll see next week at Berlin, that is former Rattler 250 and UARA defending national champion Michael Atwell. Michael, first off, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Well, tell me a little bit about Golden Sands. I had heard of Golden Sands, but I'd never seen it. What were your impressions of it, and what kind of racetrack did you think it was? It the way you thought it would be, or was it a little bit different?
I mean, from what we had heard, yeah, it was pretty similar. Low grip, round place, similar to Berlin, where you're turning constantly. But we just missed it completely on long run trim. But Gray was a great facility. Track owners were great, and obviously, UARA Bunch and Ricky there did a great job.
Do you feel like going back, you would have an idea what you would need to do to get it better?
Yeah. I mean, most definitely. I think just the uniqueness of the track and the different way that it races compared to a lot of other places that we go to definitely gave us a better ballpark of where we need to be feel wise and that kind of stuff for another race there.
And if you didn't get to see it, you can check out Ultra Broadcasting and you can see it on demand there. So I'd seen you race some in your car, the 51, and you had success down at 417 when the Bigley Memorial was down there. And I had seen, Chris Davidson's been around for a long time racing himself. How did you two get hooked up to where you're able to race for him now and do some of these races around the country?
Yeah, I mean, it was mainly Mike Garvey. We work with Mike on my car, and Chris and Mike have worked together for a long time. So going to the track and Chris being there as well as myself, it gave us it made it easier for us to make adjustments because we could both go two different ways and find out what we needed faster. So we built a great relationship there, working with with Mike, and kind of blossomed into me going out west and helping them out there when they were racing, just to help on the cars and learn as much as I could. And obviously, him and Rhonda gave me the opportunity to drive their cars, and yeah, it's been great.
What's it like racing with two racers that have raced for as long? I mean, between the two of them, they probably raced 100 years, and Mike Garvey's won everywhere, anything you can think of from Wisconsin to Florida. So, I mean, what's that been like for you as a young driver?
I mean, obviously the experience is great. Being able to go to different tracks, tracks I've never seen before, and ask Mike, Mike and Chris questions if they've been there. Mike has raced basically everywhere in the U.S., so there's seldom a time that we go to a track that he hasn't been to. So in that aspect, it's helps out a ton. Chris spots for me, so just having him on the radio during the race, he's very calm. He knows the situations that we were at in the car because he's done it for so long. So when he relays information, that kind of stuff to me, it's very easy for me to get, depending on what situation we're in. And then just making adjustments and that kind of stuff to the car when we're talking about stuff, when we're talking about feel, what the car needs and that kind of stuff. It makes it easier for the three of us to be able to give each other's ideas, and then we can also speak on what I'm feeling, that kind of stuff.
Looking forward to Berlin. That'll be Wednesday, August the 12th. 40,000 to win, 250 laps, a much longer race than the Money in the Bank. Do you approach it similarly, or is it its own kind of animal?
I mean, you got to approach every race weekend the same. Going into it, we got to make all the right adjustments. Obviously, we got to make the right decisions, and there's a lot of decisions that go into a race weekend and make it work out. 250 lap race. I mean, we got to make sure that we keep the tires underneath us with how hard Berlin is, on tires. Especially, we're switching to Hoosiers for this race, so going to be a little different than being there for the 150, but I mean, got to keep the fenders on it and get ourselves in the right positions, and give ourselves a chance at the end of the race.
Well, you raced there enough, all of a sudden it's crazy to think, but you've been there a few times now, so you're not a newbie to Berlin. There are not a lot of racetracks around the country that I've seen like that. I mean, it's got some similarities to a place like Oxford and things like that, but do you ever get fully on the throttle there at all?
I mean, maybe in our mock qualifying runs and our qualifying runs, but that's about it. We get 15 laps into a run, and you're just sitting there feathering the gas the whole time.
Well, um, you're based out of Florida, and I've said it for a long time. Florida is a beast in and of itself with everything that goes on from the west side to the east side to Pensacola up in the north. Um, how do you see racing right now in Florida?
I think it. I think it could be better. I think it could be better everywhere. I think losing Punta Gorda hurt us a lot down here. But Auberdale is putting on great shows and getting good car counts. Um, really interested to see how Ricky does it. Citrus next year. They just released their schedule, and we'll definitely be trying to make as many of those races as we can. Um, I I think as a whole, it would be more beneficial for everybody to work together in a more fluid way. I mean, I would say that nationally too.
But it's
I
bad in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're all here to do the same, for the same goal, right? We're showing up to win. The fans are showing up to watch good races, and the track owners are there to give us a place to race, but they got to make money too. And I think that, if they can set aside differences and that kind of stuff and try and work together more cohesively, then it would be better for the sport as a whole.
Well, I agree, and I hope they can. Florida, you guys at most of those tracks still can race there every week, and even up here in the Carolinas and different places like that tracks don't even run on the same weekends can't work together. So I don't know, I don't think anybody's becoming a millionaire in pavement racing. So hopefully that'll get itself squared away. Michael, I appreciate you putting aside a little bit of time for us today. And any plans this weekend? Or you gonna take one off?
Yeah, I think just get the do some laundry and get the bag packed and get ready. We got a long week. We're gonna run obviously Wednesday, and then we're gonna try and support Cletus's race on Saturday as well. So get the bag packed and get ready to go up there and hopefully get a couple wins.
Let me real quick before I let you go. That reminds me of something. Cletus's deal with these pro late models. He's brought back Freedom Factory, which I think was DeSoto, if I'm correct,
Yep,
right?
yep.
He's brought Freedom Factory back, and we see all of these shows that he's done around the country with Crown Vics. Have you been able to talk to him or any of his people about kind of what he's thinking with this pro late model deal?
I haven't heard a ton about it. Obviously, we'd like to support it if we can. Love the amount of attention he's bringing to the sport, especially asphalt circle track racing. So I'm just excited to go to the first one, see how everything goes. But like I said, I mean, it can't hurt for the amount of viewership that he has, and trying to help short track racing and putting up the money to do so. I think it's all beneficial.
Certainly, certainly. Well, Michael, again, good luck here getting ready for next week, and we look forward to watching and seeing how you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
If you love grassroots racing, Ultra Broadcasting is for you. From the UARA and the biggest short track races in the country to the best of the Carolinas, from Florence and Anderson to Southern National and Carteret County. Plus, Alabama's Mobile International Speedway and the Big Five Super Late models at Montana's Mission Valley Super Oval, and exclusive original programming. To catch it all, subscribe to ultrabroadcasting.com today.
You're not just any do-it-yourselfer. You use inspiration to bring projects to life. And just when a project seems too large, you head to your local Sunbelt Rentals. There, you'll find the latest in tools and equipment to make your next job your easiest project ever. Plus, they even deliver to your job site. Sunbelt Rentals, taking DIY projects to an all-new level.
I'm John.
And I'm Ben.
And we're the Kubota Tractor Guys. Kubota means quality and nationwide rates highest in customer satisfaction.
Discover Kubota's durability you can count on with a 6-year powertrain warranty.
Big Sky Kubota stocks a large selection of tractors and implements.
Stop in and see our wide selection of mowers, excavators, and RTVs.
Big Sky Kubota's service techs can help you get the most of your Kubota.
Big Sky Kubota. Remember, think orange.
Premier American Patriotic Fraternal Charitable Organization.
I bet you didn't know. The Elks are fueling the future of youth racing. Join us at the Elks, supporting young drivers and giving new life to our mission. On the track and in your community, we're building future leaders. We are shining a spotlight on the values that make the Elks great. By showcasing our commitment to future leaders, we're making it easier than ever to see how great it is to be an Elk.
Visit discoverelks.org today.
Well, coming up this weekend, the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame is going to induct its newest members, Earl Pearson Jr., Randy Weaver among those, as well as a guy from my neck of the woods, Jimmy Edwards Jr., Porky Edwards, some called him. And joining us now is his niece, Crystal Milliken. And Crystal, how excited are you for this weekend coming up?
We're excited. I think it's a big honor that, Porky, like you said, some people know him as Porky, some people know him as Jimmy Jr., but yeah, he's getting inducted, and I think it's well deserved. And so it's really exciting. And me and Willie came out to participate in it, and we're just excited. And I think it's an honor, for him.
What did you call him?
Call what?
Jimmy.
Porky.
You called him Porky?
Yeah, the whole family did. Like nobody called him Jimmy.
Where did that come from?
Come from the comics. The Fayetteville Observer had a comic strip in it called I don't know if the comic was called Pork Chop or if it was called something else. So my grandpa told me there was a character in there, and his name was Pork Chop. And my grandpa, he liked the comics. He read the newspaper every morning. And he nicknamed him Porky off of that comic strip, and it just stuck. And I know people probably thought it came from something else, or maybe him being chubby or chunky, but it did not. So,
Well,
yeah.
I want to talk about the Edwards Family Memorial coming up
Uh-huh.
here in just a little bit at Lakeview. Before I do that, for folks that don't know, your dad is Hank Edwards. That was Jimmy's younger brother. He had two Curtises younger than Hank, right?
Yes, he's the baby.
So tell me if I'm wrong. I always got the impression growing up that they didn't get along. But as I've got older now, I think I was wrong.
Yeah, they got along, and my dad and Porky were actually really close. But like I tell people, they were really close. They were the two that really raced. Daddy come after Porky, and I think it was the end of 83. When my grandpa, he was partnered with Clyde Keller, and they had K&E Racing, Keller and Edwards, and Clyde owned a bunch of Pizza Huts, and
Right.
he backed my grandpa. And then when they got rid of Porky and brought my dad into the car, that's where it all started.
Right.
That's where all the rivalry started, the not getting along, the fighting, the arguing. And as I got older, I kind of could see why that happened, right? They take your brother out, put you in. I kind of got it, but I didn't get it. But yeah, so we lived through a lot of stuff. It just wasn't at the racetrack where things went on. It was outside the racetrack too. So we lived through a lot of stuff for probably about 12 years.
Yeah, and so I remember that stuff some in the 80s. I don't remember Jimmy driving the Pizza Hut car which again, for folks down in that region, that Pizza Hut car was famous. He won a ton of races in that car in the late 70s and early 80s. Your dad won a ton of races in it with a 6 on it, and then I think Danny Parker drove it for a little bit afterwards. But in the 90s, again, going to Lakeview and Fayetteville and stuff like that, your dad and Porky were hard-nosed racers, but I don't ever remember them. I remember them getting into it one time at Lakeview in the late 80s, but I don't remember in the 90s they raced around each other. I don't remember them racing each other, any different than they did anybody else.
Yeah, it continued on. It was, I think, maybe more at that point off the track, because I've seen them fight, seen them argue, seen a lot of stuff happen. But
I've seen them fight one night at Lakeview. I was about 8 years old, and we left the racetrack, and your dad had Jimmy over the hood of that car.
Yeah. So they fought a bunch. And, I remember my daddy told me one time, Andy Floyd, and he used to drive modifieds, and daddy drove modifieds. He said Andy come up into shoot one night and bumped him, into shoot before they went out to qualifying. And Frankie Averett, he helped Andy at the time, walked up and said, hey, he's trying to rowdy your cage. And daddy said, I told him, you go back there and tell him they don't nobody rattle my cage, because I've raced against my brother, and they don't nobody scare me.
Yeah. Well, so you're about the same age as me, which we won't get into that, either one of us, about that. But I don't remember seeing Jimmy race at Dillon. I was too young. Do you remember him racing at Dillon?
No, me either. Oh, yeah, I don't remember that.
But I remember Fayetteville and Dublin and Lakeview, of course, and even, I was going back and looking at the bio and stuff. He won down at Volusia County in Florida and just won a ton of races. And kind of like your dad, he won all the way up into the 2000s.
Yeah, he did. He raced for a long time, and he was always very successful. And Like I tell people, second was never good enough. He was a different animal when he got in that race car, and he could be the best guy in the world outside of it, and he was. But he was a real racer, in my book. So he
Well,
just was.
that's the thing is I
Mhm.
think about, I know they came from different parts of North Carolina, but they reminded you of Dale Earnhardt. They were these country
Yes.
boys that raced hard on dirt tracks, raced against him before he went to the Cup Series and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and didn't go out there and race anybody dirty, but if somebody raced them a certain way, they knew how to give it back.
Right. That's exactly right. I think they raced others the way they want to be raced, except each other. Um, but yeah, they didn't take any crap, but they didn't try to start any crap either. And they were just, to me, just, real racers, you know, and they raced a lot. That's why some people say, oh, well, they have all these wins because they race 5 times a week. Well, sometimes they did, but that's what they did.
Yeah.
Um, I know my dad did it for a living or did it for a job for a very long time. That's what he did. Um, but yeah, so we've been in it a long time, and um, you love it. And at sometimes when things don't go good or it's going rough, you hate it. I don't think you hate it, but you don't like it at that time. But yeah, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff between them two, and heard a lot of crazy stuff. And you sit in the stands and you see what all they got to say, and
Yeah.
it's been a wild ride.
And if I remember when you were growing up, you sat in the stands, if I remember right.
Yes, I did with my mom and my little brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you
Yep.
heard all the crap, good
Oh
and
yeah.
bad.
Oh, you heard this, you heard that, and you heard him cussing your daddy, or cussing him, or you hear a lot up there. And when I got older and pretty much got grown, I was like, yeah, I can't sit up here anymore. Like, I can't do it.
Well, I don't know how you did it back then. That does lead me to the Edwards Family Memorial, though.
Mhm.
It's the 6th annual this year. Again, that 6 numbers special because that was your dad's car number. But
Yep.
before we talk about this race specifically, it comes up Labor Day weekend at
Mhm.
Lakeview Motor Speedway. It'll be the night before the Southern 500. Where did this all come from? The idea behind it?
Well, I got thinking several years ago, I wanted to do something for them. I thought they had done so much in our region, in our area. Not only them, Curtis did race as well, but my grandpa did so much
Yeah,
and so much for so many people that I
bunch of
felt like,
engines.
yes,
Yeah,
parts, engines, even if he just talked to you or just
yeah.
told you the truth, because he would tell you the truth. Um, I just felt like they deserved to be honored, and somebody needed to do it. So I just took it and did it. And
Mhm.
Willie, he stood behind me 100%, and he's actually helped me a lot with raising money and stuff. Um, and we just took the idea, and Scott, he was glad to have it and went with us, um, and that's how it started. And I'm still glad. I'm glad it's still going.
This year it's got a ton of potential. As we
Yeah.
said, it's 12,000 to win. That's the biggest race that will ever have been held at Lakeview. It's the Carolina Clash Super Late Model race. And the thing about it is, and I don't know if you have anything you can confirm or break for us, but there's no big super races going on that weekend. So there's a potential that some guys could come in and surprise us.
Yeah. There sure is, and I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know of anybody confirmed that's coming. I ain't gonna lie. If I did, I'd probably tell you, but I don't like to mislead people, but I hope so. Maybe in the next few weeks we might find out more information, because some people will tell you they're coming and you don't never see them. Because we've had that happen before. But I hope for a good race, and I hope we have a good race. Good racy race, and just hope everything goes good, and I think it will.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we'll see.
What's it been like for you watching those cars out there? Because I know when I saw the Orange 66, and for folks that don't know, Willie, your husband, wrapped them special for those races, had the white Pizza Hut car, and I mean they brought back so many memories, and then Willie
Yeah.
actually winning the race. I mean, it's
Yes.
been a special event beyond what it could have been.
Right, right. Yeah, it definitely has. We thought, the throwback cars to honor them and brought back memories. And a lot of people really liked that. I even seen a grown man cry because he said it brought back so many memories to see that. So that was pretty cool. And then, especially, when it's your husband racing too and does a throwback rap for your dad, it really meant a lot to my dad for us to do those things. And then for Willie to win one. And then it was the same year we made the clock. And growing up, my grandpa had that same clock in his living room because the race they won, the driver got one, the car owner got one. And then I seen that clock in my parents' house growing up all my life. So we had it replicated and then we won it. So now it sits in our living room. So that was really special to me. That might not be special to a lot of people, but that was special to us because now we get to see it all the time. And I like to make different trophies and unique trophies because I don't think people do that enough anymore. You rarely ever see a trophy yet, something nice. So I know we enjoy seeing them in our house, and I enjoyed seeing them growing up. And so I hope the people who win and stuff, I hope they appreciate, the stuff like we do.
Well, I can't wait to see the paint scheme, and I don't want you to tell me anything because
Yeah.
I know you guys always debut it on your Facebook page, folks. Be checking that out on the Willie and Crystal Milliken Facebook page. Again, the Edwards Family Memorial coming up Saturday, September the 5th, Lakeview Motor Speedway, night before the Southern 500, $12,000 to win for the Carolina Clash Super Late Models. And Crystal, I know you guys are busy, but thank you so much for
Yes,
joining
sir.
us from there at Florence Speedway or Florence, Kentucky, where the race will be this weekend. And congratulations, because not only is it your uncle going in, but kind of like you've lumped they're all together. Your uncle, your dad, your grandpa, and I think this honor really is for all of them, not just your uncle.
That's right. It's for everybody. And I think as well as the, people and fans and the tracks in our area too, because really there's nobody, from around there that this is, happened to. So I think it's for everybody and we should all celebrate it. And we're definitely excited. And thank you for having me on.
Well, I agree. I don't feel like enough people have recognized the guys in Eastern, North, and
Yeah, I don't
South
either.
Carolina either. And I think it's neat, just like you said, for all of us to see somebody we grew up watching go in. Well, y'all have fun this weekend, and we'll see you at Lakeview here soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Alan.
Tax season giving you headaches? Meet SRQ Taxes, your tax pros in Sarasota ready to make taxes simple. Whether you're filing personal returns or business taxes, SRQ Taxes handles it with accuracy, speed, and care. Trusted by locals in Sarasota, these experts help save time and money. No stress, no guesswork. We can file taxes from anywhere and every state via a secure portal. Ready to take control of your taxes? Visit srqtaxes.com to book your appointment today. SRQ Taxes. Navigate your tax journey with confidence.
The best time of the year in Montana is here, and adventure won't wait. Now's the time to gear up and get out there. Whether it's the lake, the mountains, or off-the-grid back roads, Missoula Chevrolet has the lineup to take you there. Shop over 100 Chevy trucks, all with one low price, plain and simple, always. Their non-commissioned sales team is ready to help you find the perfect fit. No pressure, just the right truck for your next expedition. Stop by today at 3663 North Reserve Street in Missoula. Missoula Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Well, as always, we want to thank our guests for joining us on No Bull this week. Got a big weekend planned of short track racing. I'm sure a lot of you do, or you'll be going to short tracks like myself. I'll be going to Lakeview on Saturday night. They're going to have a lot of big stuff going on there as they get back underway. Will not be streamed, but next week, the race August 15th, will be streamed here on Ultra. That'll be the Blue Ridge Outlaw late model, so looking forward to that. As far as this week goes, Friday night we'll be back at Anderson Motor Speedway in the upstate of South Carolina for local racing. And then on Saturday, August the 8th, the Outlaw 100 for the Outlaws at Mobile International Speedway. That'll start around 8 or 9 Eastern time here on Ultra Broadcasting, along with their regular divisions. And around that same time, maybe a little bit later, we'll be back out at Mission Valley Super Oval in Montana as the USA late models will be back in action. So be sure to check all of that great stuff out. As always, if you got any questions or comments or guest requests, you can go to Facebook. You can find me there, Alan Dietz on Facebook, or at Real Alan Dietz on X. Of course, appreciate you watching our show. You can always watch it here on Ultra Broadcasting or on the Alan Dietz YouTube channel. And if by chance you're going to the racetrack and looking for something to listen to, you can also listen to No Bull with Alan Dietz where podcasts are available. Again, I want to thank all of our guests, and we wish all you racers a fast and successful weekend wherever you may race. For all of us here at Ultra Broadcasting, I'm Alan Dietz saying so long. We'll see you next week on No Bull.